Yes, we are back for another episode of the Focus Fight Finish podcast. Thank you for clicking on the video. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Listening, if we're going to get into the background noise in a second, but thank you for listening. If you're listening to this on iTunes, hopefully I have figured out how to put this podcast out other places other than just YouTube. If you are watching this on YouTube, if you've only watched this on YouTube, I appreciate you because that means you're an OG because the first 5 episodes were only on YouTube. I am slowly working to get them elsewhere on all places where podcasts are available because I've heard your comments, okay? I've gotten a lot of comments of people very upset that I've only put them on YouTube. I understand. I'm working on it. We've been a little bit busy around these parts, which we're also going to get into, but I don't know if you can hear my child. He is in the background, and he is home today. So it's Christmas. It is Christmas time. We are 4 days out from Christmas Eve, and my son is home. He is not at daycare. When I typically record this, he's at daycare or he is on his way to swim lessons. Meredith, my wife, is driving him there, and I am recording the podcast quickly right before I meet them to watch swim lessons. But that's not the case right now. They are home, and so this is the first podcast I've actually recorded with people home. So it's very strange. Okay, it's all like already off the top. It is weird. He is screaming about something. I don't know what, but he is screaming. Whatever it is, he feels very, very strongly about it. So today's episode, what we're going to talk about is negative self-talk. We're going to be talking about kind of like a year in review. I'm going to be answering a lot of your questions, tell you how my half marathon training is going, and my strategies this holiday season. I've got some big news and a giveaway. So we got so much to cover. I am drinking, this is not sponsored, but I am drinking this delicious Waterloo sparkling water. It's incredible. I've drank so much LaCroix in my life that I simply cannot drink LaCroix anymore. I also, Liquid Death is so like I just found out like a week ago that Liquid Death is not actually beer, it's water. I had no idea. If you didn't know this, Liquid Death is water, but they designed it specifically to make it look like it's beer, which is dope. I mean, I don't know if you were like self-conscious enough about like, you know, like, oh, I can't look like I'm drinking sparkling water. I need something metal. I need it to look like Liquid Death. You know, it's like, all right, dude, be more comfortable with yourself. You know, I have no problem drinking this delicious, cute little bottle of Waterloo. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, it's got a nice, beautiful little curly Q font. It's got a couple of lemons and limes, some leaves. No Liquid Death. You know what I mean? It's because I don't care what you think. I don't care what anyone thinks. I'm just going to drink what I like because I like it. I will say Liquid Death's design is really cool, so I'm going to have to try it. I haven't actually even tried it, so I don't even know why I'm talking mess about it, but, you know, I mean, it obviously sounds cool, right? What are you drinking? Liquid Death. You have to do that every time. I don't even know what this means. We're going to try it. I'll try some for next episode, okay? I'm just openly drinking liquid on the mic now. I'm 6 episodes in, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and drink on the mic. It is what it is. Okay, let's get into this. Huge life update right off the top. And I swear this applies to weight loss and everything. But I feel like at this point, if you're listening for more than just weight loss talk, which thank God, because I don't only want to talk about weight loss my entire life. You know what I mean? Like, that's not just who I am. I'm not just the weight loss guy. I got so much more I want to say. So listen or don't. Why are we so spicy right now? Making fun of Liquid Death for no reason. Making fun of people who drink Liquid Death for no reason. I'm not really making fun. I'm just saying If you're drinking it solely because you're afraid of drinking something like Waterloo, then, sort yourself out. Why are you doing that? Who cares? And now we got sirens. Ay, ay, ay. All right, huge update. So we are 4 days away from Christmas Eve, which means we are 4 days away from my little girl being born. Whoa. I mean, that's at least our due date. Our due date is Christmas Eve, which is 4 days away. That is blowing my mind that in 4 days, I'm going to double the amount of kids that I have. That's insane. Like, if you don't have kids, you probably are actually sick and tired of me talking about having kids. Because I know that's how I felt before I had kids. I was like, all right, enough. Why are you talking about your kids so much? Who cares? I care, and other parents care for the most part. So if you don't have kids, maybe you're not going to relate to this, but it is like mind-boggling to me that I have one child right now, and in 4 days, I will have an entire other human being that I will be holding and taking care of for the next 2 decades, at least. Maybe she'll be a complete screw up and I'll have to take care of her for 3 or 4 decades. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to let her end up out on the streets. I'm not going to let Ryder end up out on the streets. Like, who knows? Hopefully I can do my job and they'll be great additions to society, but you never know. You never know. I'm just saying that it's insane that, like, I had 1 kid and in 4 days I'll have 2 kids. It's just like, you don't understand. If you haven't been through this, the amount of work that a child is it's incalculable. Okay, it's incalculable how much work it is and how hard it is, because everyone tells you it's hard. Having a kid, I mean, and maybe just talking about newborns, like toddlers can vary in difficulty, especially in the day. Ryder is a pretty easygoing kid. Sometimes he screams and freaks out, but they're toddlers. They're going through a lot. It's all good. For newborns, though, newborns who don't know how to communicate, the only way they know how to communicate is scream and cry. And, like, if they're hungry, they're screaming. If they're uncomfortable, they're screaming. If they're tired, they're screaming. If they poop themselves, they're screaming. Pee themselves, they're screaming. No matter what, they're screaming, okay? And you can't be like, hey, what's wrong with you? Just tell me what you want, because they don't talk. Now, you probably don't need to have kids to know that, but newborns, what they don't tell you is the difficulty is compounded on the fact that you're also not getting sleep. Now, you might say, which I say all the time, or I said this before, like, I do good with little sleep, At the time, before Ryder, I was sleeping like 4 hours a night. Even still to this day, I probably don't sleep that much. I'm better. I get closer to 6 hours every night. But I still operate on little sleep. But the thing is, with newborns, it's not that you have a little sleep, it's that you have sleep sporadically. You don't get a solid, like, when I would say, like, oh, I operate well on little sleep, it was 4 hours of solid sleep. I was knocked out for those 4 hours. You don't get that. You get like 45 minutes of, like, kind of like both eyes closed. Like, I don't feel like you ever hit that deep sleep, because even when they're asleep, you're so exhausted. And I don't know if you've felt this, but, like, sometimes you're so exhausted that you can't sleep. That's exactly what it's like. Those first couple months of parenthood is so hard. And the fact that I'm about to go through that again in 4 days, it's like I'm about to run a marathon. It's literally, okay, this is what it's like. This is perfect, actually. And to tie it back in for all of you who are like, stop talking about your kids, start talking about losing weight, dude, come on. This is the Focus Fight Pain podcast. You can only talk about weight loss ever. No one actually has said that, but in my mind, that's what I think, and I get insecure about it. So we'll talk about negative self-talk in the very next segment here. But, okay. Having a newborn is like running a marathon. And I'm about to have a newborn in 4 days. And this is a very similar feeling with how I felt before the marathon. Okay. I had no idea how hard it was going to be. I had no idea. I knew it was going to be hard. I knew I was going to be challenged. I knew it was going to be pushed. I knew I was going to hit a wall at a certain point of that marathon. What I didn't know is what I didn't know. And the scary thing about this birth, about this kid, is I already got one upstairs and he's screaming right now. Okay. It's hard. I already know how hard it's going to be. And now I'm coupled, like I've coupled the difficulty level was here before the marathon, before I had my first kid. Now it's here because I've had one. And now I know it's already at this level. And it's just going to get harder because now I'm taking care of a newborn and a toddler. Oh, God. Who knows how? This is like running a marathon with a rucksack. Why would you do it? You're insane. You enjoy pain. And that's what parenthood is. That's what parenthood is. Running a marathon with a rucksack. Good God. And by the way, the marathon is not 26.2 miles. The marathon is 18 years. You just got to keep running. There's no finish line. You just got to keep running. Man, I've never thought of it that way, but it's perfect. Yeah, I'm a fan of that. And it's like, you know, if you don't have kids and you want to have kids, I obviously don't want to try to talk you out of it. Having Ryder was the greatest thing I've ever done in my entire life. Every time he runs up to me and says, Dad, and is excited to see me and runs up, like literally today, he brought me a flower on his walk. And it makes everything worth it. It's incredible. And the fact that I get to go through that again, the fact that I get to have a daughter, like the father-son relationship is already so special to me, especially because of like, not bad, but just like a challenging relationship that I had with my dad growing up and still do. It's like, you know, he does things that drives me nuts, you know, and I'm sure I'm going to do things that drive my son nuts. And we're just two guys and we're going to butt heads. And I'm going to do everything that I can to try to avoid that. Now, a daughter is something different, I feel like. And that's what scares me. It's like this girl is pulling on my heartstrings. Like I felt like absolutely connected to Ryder maybe like a couple months after he was born. Like obviously you feel that right when you're there and you're like, oh my God, this is my kid. But in that moment, I felt more concerned for Meredith because, you know, I had been with Meredith for almost 10 years at that point. We were like, I want to make sure she was okay and that she was like feeling all right and that she was healthy. And then you see your baby and you're like, oh my God, this is my child. And she, you know, the baby needs Meredith so much in the beginning, and she's, you know, they're always trying to breastfeed and they're like, you know, just very much about mom. And then finally, like when you get home and you can like do more things, and I'm changing diapers and I'm getting puked on and all that stuff, and you're building that relationship. And then like the first time, I feel like right away Ryder could like see Meredith and like knew Meredith was his mom. And the first time that you can see that recognition as a dad, and that I saw Ryder realize that I was his dad, like as a newborn, like maybe he was just looking at my stupid face or something. But, you know, in my mind, he looked at me and thought, Dad. That's when everything changed for me with Ryder. And that happened a couple months in. That's when I really, really felt the weight of fatherhood, because it's like, oh my God, like he knows that I'm also important to him, you know? And so I feel like with her, I already feel a twinge of that. I already feel that connection to her. And just to be a girl dad and to, I feel like is a big responsibility. It's also, I mean, obviously a big responsibility to have a son, but it's just like in this world that they're going to grow up in, this world that my kids are going to grow up in is scary. It's a scary world that they're going to grow up in. And I feel like I have such a responsibility to teach my son how to be a man and how to treat a woman. And I feel like I have such a responsibility to teach my daughter how she should be treated by a man. And, that's a lot to think about, because in my head, sometimes I still think like, hey, sometimes I think like, I'm not prepared and I'm not qualified for this. So who gave me these kids? Why do I have kids? I feel like it was 5 minutes ago I was just like drinking Mountain Dew, eating hot Cheetos, and playing Halo 2. Ooh, who gave me all these kids? Why is this okay? This is not, I didn't take a test for this. I have no license for this. I'm not certified for this. So, it's like, you think about this and you're like, wow, this is very, very precarious, this whole parenthood thing. But then, you do the work, you figure it out along the way, and it all works out. And so I guess I'm just trying to talk myself into this because, like I said, I am 4 days away from being a father of two, a father of a little baby girl. And, man, so nervous. So I'm just trying to calm myself, trying to figure things out, trying to get a lot of work done because I know I'm not going to have any time for a while after this. Yeah. So I will obviously let you know through social media if you are interested in this at all. If you're not interested in this at all, you've probably already clicked off the podcast. Let's be honest. You've probably already been like, all right, he's clearly just going down this path of fatherhood and I'm not here for it. I want to know about macros. But if you are interested in this, I'll be posting through Instagram. That'll be the only thing that I post, just in case. I don't know if she's going to be early, if she's going to be late. We don't have like a planned date or anything. She has an appointment again on Friday. Like I said, we're due Saturday, so we'll see. Today, at the time of recording, is Monday. So yeah, Christmas Eve, a little Christmas miracle, or a little Christmas baby. I cannot wait. I'll tell you that. I'm very excited, but also equally as nervous. I mean, it's also, there's just so much that happens in the birthing room. I talked a little bit about it last week, but when you pull your kid out of your wife, like, it's insane. I'll save that birthing story for whatever happens this weekend. I'll tell both of our birthing stories in the next podcast because I'm sure that's going to be the only thing I talk about in that podcast. I cannot imagine wanting to talk about weight loss at all after seeing my daughter being born, like priorities. Hey, who cares what my macronutrient caloric deficit is today? My daughter was born. Let's just chill. So yeah, next podcast, just be warned, it's only going to be about that. So if that does not interest you, skip it. And we'll get right back to it because it's obviously New Year's after that, and I got a bunch of goals next year and all that. So, all right, so I want to talk about, let's just switch gears. If you want to follow along with the birthing story, hit me on Instagram at Focus Fight Finish. I'll post a lot there as I can, obviously. Baby's not going to be born. I'm like, hey, here we are, guys. We're in the, just taking a selfie with my wife. Dude, she'd be so pissed. Oh, my God. I mean, rightfully so. It'd be insane. I'm sure there's some influencer out there who's done that, Nuts. Okay. Anyway, we're switching gears, I promise. Today, we're going to talk about negative self-talk. But first, liquid death. Are you too insecure from drinking a can with flowers on it? We've got your solution, liquid death. Okay, enough of that. I'm going to try it. It's probably really good. It'd have to be good for a name with liquid death. It'd have to be freaking really good. Okay. So negative self-talk. So I feel like at the end of this year, I've been seeing a lot of people post about like all the things they accomplished this year. And a lot of people have been posting about that. They've been posting all their medals that they won from finishing different races. They've been posting finishing times. They've been posting workout accumulations, like I ran this many miles this year. Whatever it is. A lot of people have been posting their accomplishments from 2021, as they should. It's something to be very proud of. And I started for a few days. This wasn't just like a fleeting thought. This was for a minute. I just felt really down. I was just like, dude, I didn't accomplish anything this year. And I talked a little bit about it last year. It's like, I had a goal to, or I talked about it last year. I talked about it a little in the last podcast, but like I had a goal to finish a triathlon and I didn't do it. I had a goal to stay healthy and I didn't do it. I was in the hospital for a week. There was a lot of things that happened this year, and the surgery and the hospitalization and the new job that I allowed to affect what my goals were. I didn't adapt. I didn't figure out a new plan. I did not find a way. And I feel like in 2020, my entire mission, my whole thing that I was about was finding a way regardless of the situation. I made a YouTube video about it back then called Find a Way. And I feel like I was missing that mentality. I was missing that that sharpness of my mind this year. This whole year, I feel like I was missing that. And I felt really down. I was actually feeling pretty depressed about it. I was just getting down and, kind of moping around and just not putting the effort out there. This was literally like a few days ago. Just so I'm just talking about different time zones of my life. So just making sure you're with me. I've been depressed. I want you to know that very recently I was very depressed. And I feel like there was a post that my BPN athlete friend, ambassador of mine, he was not a BPN athlete, sorry, he's a BPN ambassador. He posted something that didn't snap me out of my funk, but like helped me snap myself out of my funk. So I feel like with negative self-talk, you can build up this negativity within yourself so much that you cannot see yourself how other people see you. And I was doing that because I didn't feel like I accomplished anything this whole year. I was telling myself, man, you just didn't do anything this year. You let yourself go. You gained weight. You didn't accomplish anything. You suck. You're not worthy of people following you and being inspired by you, because who are you? You're nobody. You've given up and you've fallen and you failed and like all these things that I tell myself. It's easy for that to build and build and build and build and build. And for me, for someone who's like very outwardly jovial and makes jokes of everything, it's like this burden to feel like I need to be that guy, to be that happy-go-lucky guy. But then I didn't feel that same way about myself, and I don't see myself that way because I'm just doing nothing all day except for basically just piling on myself. I'm like the biggest bully in my own life is myself. And, that's tough. It's tough. And it's easy at the end of the year when everyone is posting all these accomplishments and all these different things that they've done that they're proud of. And I'm like sitting here like, I don't have anything to be proud of. Like, I suck. Like this sucks. And, that's not a great feeling to have. And then 4 days ago, my buddy, let me pull up the post here. My buddy Jack from BPN posted something that meant the world to me, and literally, just changed my entire mindset. It really helped pull me out of this like path that I was going down. It was just completely trashing myself. He posted this picture of us from the BPN ambassador weekend 2 months ago. He said, "Meet my guy, Tony Reyes. I'd call him a friend, but by our BPN ambassador weekend, I felt much more than that. We communicated here and there over DMs, team calls, but I tend to hold off on expectations until I meet them in person. They weren't even close to reality. Instantly, I felt drawn to the guy. We all did. Tony is a guy that people want to be around because he makes it feel flipped. He wants to be around you. He treated me like we'd been best friends our whole lives for no other reason than him just being that way. Genuine characters are hard to come by these days, but I'm so grateful to finally met this astonishing human being. He's also been an incredible inspiration. Homie used to weigh 400 pounds and now a few months away from running a half marathon. Come on. There's only one way I can really describe my friend, my capo, my brother. Relentless. And, man, that meant so much to me. Mainly because, like I was saying, I don't see myself the same way that other people see me. When I look at myself in the mirror, I'm really hard on myself. I'm brutal with myself sometimes. And it's something that I've always struggled with. You know, like as a kid, you're growing up and you're the fat kid, and it's like, it's easy to cut yourself down. And even when you start doing good things, you'll find something about that good thing that you did to cut yourself down about. And so when he posted that, it helped me even for like a moment be like, maybe I could see myself how he sees me for a moment. And that made me feel really good. It made me feel really, really good. Because like I said, I've been having a tough time, man. I've just been having a tough time with the self-image, with the negative self-talk. And it's, it's moments like that where people say something genuine like that it really helps. So this is my long way of saying thank you to anyone who's ever posted something like that about me or whatever. But Jack, man, like it really meant so much to me. And I reached out and, told him as such. But, it's just like little moments like this along the way that have helped me be a little bit easier on myself, giving myself a little bit more grace. That's not very easy to do, but I am trying. And so anyway, what I'm trying to say is who you keep around you and who you decide to listen to is going to absolutely help or hinder you, including yourself. If you choose to listen to yourself the way that you're talking to yourself, that's either going to help or hinder you. And I was listening to myself, talk to myself in a very, very negative way. And instead, 4 days ago, I listened to Jack and how he was talking about me. And then I started telling myself those things and started telling myself, listen, this is who you are. This is who you're going to be. And like, that's who you are. So like, accept it and be happy about it. And, keep telling yourself that. And so I have been telling myself that. And how, Jack feels like he's my best friend, which I love that. I love that because that is I don't know if it's a goal of mine, but it is something that is important to me to make sure, like if you're in a room and there's so many different people, I just always want to make sure that everyone feels like involved and feels included. And I want to make sure everyone feels important because they are important, and like, especially in a room like that where I value so many people in that room. I value everyone there. And I respect everyone there. And at that time, for sure at that time, I'm in a room full of killers, in a room full of athletes and trainers and just, incredible human beings. So I feel 100% unworthy to be there. So I'm just genuinely going up and like absolutely wanting to be their best friend and wanting them to feel like how I feel about them. And so to be able to take a moment to feel about myself how they feel about me was huge. And I think with negative self-talk that's not hard, that's not easy to do, and it's the opposite of that is you just listen to yourself and you just spiral and spiral and spiral, and then, bad things happen. So I think it was just a moment that I wanted to talk about and touch on, and, let you know that I've been dealing with this negative self-talk for a little while. It's getting better for sure the past few days. I also think it's stress related. Like I said, got a new kid coming up, and so that's going to be very stressful. So I think a lot of these emotions are coming out that way. But the good thing is I was making a list. And it's just like a personal list for me. But I'll share a few things here. But like, I got to the point where I needed to write down what I was proud of myself from this year, because I kept reading everyone else's things and I had nothing really like tangible. I had no medals that I won this year. I didn't finish anything that I wanted to this year. But it doesn't mean that it was a wasted year. And that's what I like focused on. I kept telling myself, listen, just because everyone else is posting all the races and medals and accomplishments they did, just because they're posting that doesn't mean that I don't still have things to be proud of. Whether I'm going to post about them or not doesn't matter. I still have a year that I did in my life that I made through the whole year and I value and that I am proud of. A few of those things are, starting this new job. Like, this new job was a big part of the stress of this year because it's a bigger role than I've ever had. And like, I haven't really, talked too much about my career here, but, and maybe I will one day, but like, I don't know if you're interested, but it's like, as a creative director for a company, there's so much that you have to like, is your responsibility basically. And, it's just been a high stress situation, but I will say it's high stress because I'm so passionate about what I do, and especially about this industry. It's in the fitness industry, which is incredible for me. Every other creative job I've ever had has either been like shooting weddings or working on video games, working at an advertising agency where almost all I did was work on video games at the advertising agency. And so it's like all this stuff that I liked video games, but I'm never like been like a passionate gamer or anything like that. So I don't know. I just, this is the first job that I've been able to merge both of my passions. So it's very important for me. Filmmaking and fitness are very, very important for me. And so, yeah, I think, that stress comes from a good place. I don't think it's a bad thing. I care. I care a lot about it. My son just fell and now he's crying. My wife doesn't seem concerned. Okay, we're good. We're good. I don't know if you could hear that or not, but literally it sounded like he was about to come through the roof. Our living room is directly above my office, and he must have jumped off the couch and just sprawled out on the ground because it sounded so loud in here. Insane. And this is an old house, so he probably could have come through the roof, which, wow, if I would have got that on camera, amazing, right? He just falls through, and I catch him, like a hero. And I'm like, my son, I've caught you. Okay. Anyway, completely sidetracked from what I was talking about. Oh my God, the tangents I go on this podcast are insane. So what I did is I wrote a list. Yes, that's what we're talking about, the list. Come on, pull it together, Tony. Let's do this. So I wrote a list down because I did not want to keep up this negative self-talk that I was doing. And so this is my tip to you. If you find yourself not really digging what you were able to accomplish this year, find 5 things that you were able to accomplish. Because I started writing and I got through way more than 5. I was like, oh yeah, I did do that. I did do this. I was this. I was that. And it wasn't anything that I thought about. Like, I didn't do a triathlon, but you know what? This year I was a better husband. I feel like I was a better husband to my wife, and that's a big deal. I feel like this year I was a better father than I was last year. I feel like this year, I was able to tell stories that I've always wanted to tell. You know, these athlete interviews. I was flying all over the place earlier this year, flying and filming with Olympians and with NFL athletes, and like that's something I've always wanted to do, and I'm proud of myself for that. And like, yeah, like that's awesome. I'm getting to tell these stories that are like truly, inspirational and things that stories that I've always wanted to tell. I don't want to tell stories about Gears of War 4, It was the last, I did a game trailer for Gears of War 4. I won an award for it. And I was like, I don't care at all. I think this trailer sucks. But, it is what it is. It's like, whatever, as long as, Microsoft's happy, I guess. But then when I go and I'm like, traipsing through the mud and muck in Florida, and I'm filming Zach Sealer from the Dolphins, and he's talking about his family's business, and working together with his family and his brother and his fiance and his dad, and it's just like everyone's there and they're all good people, and I'm like, this is what I've been wanting to do. This is like, so like, I'm so passionate about this. I love this. So things like that, like I look back on, and whether I've gained weight or not, it's like, that's always going to be a point of contention with me, is my weight loss and my weight gain. And that's always something that's going to be hard to deal with, but I made the list regardless. So what I'm trying to say is, even in a year where I had so many things go wrong for me, and I had so many things that I didn't accomplish, I was still able to make a list of like 5 to 10 things that I'm genuinely and like truly proud of. Like I'm absolutely proud of these things. Maybe they're not going to make it into Instagram and like some beautiful carousel where I can just show off all the things that I was able to do this year, but like I'm still very happy with it. And it as soon as I did that, along with Jack's message, and it like lifted me up out of this fog that I had been in, and it just made me feel incredible, man. Like I was like, yes, I am valued. I value myself. I care about myself. I'm doing things, and maybe the things on that list weren't the things on that list that I wanted to be at the beginning of the year, but they're still things, and I'm still proud of those things, and I'm still happy that those things exist and that I was able to do those things. So whether you think so or not, find 5 things that you're proud of this year, even if you can't, post the highlight reels that everyone else is, because I know I can't, and that's fine, because I was able to readjust my mindset and talk myself out of that negative energy that I had been talking into for a few days. So I hope that helps. All right, so this is normally the part of the podcast where I say we're paying bills, but I am going to be doing a giveaway on my Instagram with Hydrogun. I just got a bunch of guns in. I'm going to be doing giveaways throughout next year, throughout 2022. And so the first giveaway I'm going to be doing right around New Year's. I'm going to post on it. I'm going to post about it on Instagram tomorrow when I hopefully post this podcast. So pretty exciting. I'll be getting to give away some massage guns that I love, that are, a pretty decent chuck and change. So might be something that you'd be interested in. Head over to my Instagram, Focus Fight Finish. I'm going to be giving those away. If you just want to buy a Hydra gun, you can use my code FOCUS. But like I said, I'm going to be giving them away. So I don't know. Just go to Instagram, try to win one. And yeah, I'm pretty excited. This is like the first like giveaway I was able to like actually do with a brand. I did one other one with Ice Age Meals, and so I guess this is the second giveaway I've ever done, which is very exciting for me. And I think it's a perfect time, especially like everyone's new fitness goals, new year, new me type stuff. This will fit in perfectly with that. So like I said, if you're interested, not an ad or anything, but if you're interested, head over to my Instagram, Focus Fight Finish, and enter to win that free massage gun that I'll mail you. I didn't even think about mailing these things. This is gonna cost me money. What the H? No, I'm just kidding. They're really good though. I love them. I love the massage that you get from these guns. So I posted a video about the massage gun versus the Theragun. I'll post that below. It's pretty dope. I would not recommend them if I didn't think they were dope. So check it out. All right, so I'm going to give you a quick update before I've got the questions pulled up. But before we get into the questions, I'm going to give you a quick update on my half marathon training. If you don't know, I am running a half marathon May 1st, 2022, and I cannot wait to start achieving some of those goals again and start crossing some finishing lines. Finishing lines or finish lines? Pretty sure the big banner says finish line. And I'm an idiot. So the half marathon, I'm running the OC marathon, and my coach is Casey Klein on Instagram, Casey Klein _ with C's. Klein with a C. She's my run coach. She's amazing. She's a BPN ambassador. She's my BPN sister. Love her so much. So very grateful for her to be giving me my plan and writing this plan for me, and talking to me all the time. Today she checked in with me, which is just like amazing. I had a run coach before. Like it was like he was dodging my Instagram DMs, dodging my text messages. I would get injured and he'd be like, "Oh, sorry about that, bud." I'm like, "Yeah, man, what do I do? Like, come on." Yeah, he wasn't great. I'm not going to tell you his name, but I did have a run coach before who was not great. And Casey's been awesome. So anyway, running's been good. The last week, though, the last 2 runs I had last week, my left leg went numb. Like, as I was running, I would maybe get like a quarter of a mile, and my leg was going numb completely to where I felt like I was just dragging around a dead leg. It was so weird. It's happened to me before a couple times, but never this bad and never this long. Usually I'd stop, switch up the tension on my laces, and I'd be fine. This time, not the case. It lasted the whole run. It was very hard to finish. It was only like 2 miles, so not that big of a deal, but 2 runs at 2 miles, and my leg was super jacked. So feels good now. So tomorrow I'm going to go for a run. I'm working out later tonight after Ryder swim lessons because this is the only time I could get it in. And it is what it is. But you know how we do around these parts. Team no sleep. Just kidding. Sleep is important. Casey is telling me about it. I know. It's very important. It's just, I had to work all day, and I got to take him to swim lessons, and that's from like 6 to 6:30. Get home, do bedtime, bath time. It's like I don't get to the gym until like 9 o'clock. It is what it is. So anyway, that is the quick update on the half marathon training. It's going great. It's going well. Hopefully this leg stops being numb while I run. But yeah, if you want to join, I think there's a question in here, but if you want to join, it is the OC Marathon, May 1st. Hit me up on Instagram if you have any questions about anything, Focus, Fight, Finish, and we'll get you squared away. I want to make sure that if people want to join me, that would be so sick. I already know a couple people that are coming from Instagram, like not family. I think I just talked my sister into doing it as well, so very cool about that. But yeah, like literally like 2 people through Instagram are going to run it with me just to be there and to run it with me, which so cool of them. All right, first question is from Ari's Shrinks. Ari's, again, has a cool YouTube channel. Check her out. I pulled the ejector seat. She's also on a weight loss journey, by the way, if you couldn't tell by her name. Ari Shrinks, you know what I mean? I pulled the ejector seat, and I'm so excited that we both have a half marathon booked for May 1st. Nice. Found that so amazing. Do you have a goal for the run itself, or is it just about completing it? Like beat a previous time, completing it without walk breaks, or just completing it however it needs to be? Ari's, thank you for your question. That's a good one. So the first time I did a half marathon was last year. Before my marathon. I ran it last summer, and I ran it in 2 hours and 33 seconds. So my goal for this one is to run a sub 2:30 half marathon. I really want to do that. It's going to be difficult, especially like it's like, but I got time though. I'm like 120 something days out. Like I have time, so I'm not stressed about it. I got a great coach in Casey Klein, and so I think I think with those 2 things, I'll be able to beat my previous time. And the last time I ran the half marathon, I actually did it without walking. So I think like obviously I want to do that again. I'm going to need to do that again if I'm going to break 2:30. But 2:30 is the goal, and you heard it here first. All right. Next question is from what happened to the questions here? Oh, here we go. Ejector seat. By the way, that's the secret message. of last week was pulling the ejector seat, and I sprinkle in secret messages throughout the podcast, and I'll let you know what this week's is. But then when you post the comments or post your question in the YouTube in the comments below, so I read them next week on the podcast, I know that you know that you're an OG, that you're part of the familia, okay? That you're in the club here, that you listened all the way to the end, because I don't give out the secret code until the end. So these are people, when they post the ejector seat, these are people that are listening all the way through this long, winding, weird podcast. From William Wittenbrook. Ejector seat. Good for you, man. Keep at it. I just signed up for my first half marathon, which will be St. Patrick's Day weekend. I've lost 88 pounds. Starting weight was 365 in April 2020. My freaking man. That's amazing. What are your thoughts about breaking through plateaus and making sure that you're losing weight but getting enough nutrition for your race? Will, thank you for the question, and also congrats on your weight loss, man. That's amazing. Lost 88 pounds. My man's killing it. So for weight loss plateaus, for me, it's just about trusting the process, and that's something that I have not been good at. But like, I've been in a plateau. I mean, like, I've been slowly gaining weight this year, so I can't really say that. But before that, I was in a plateau. Like before my marathon, I was in a plateau, and I just had to trust the process, keep at it, and make sure that I was eating enough. And I feel like you feel that, especially like when you're in training and like you're obviously running your half marathon. So like you'll feel if your body needs more fuel, you're going to feel that. And so, for me, I was just always like checking up with how I was feeling. How was I being able to perform well? Was I, did I feel like tired? Did I feel like kind of shaky? If that's the case, then you're training so much that you probably need to up the calories to help with that. But yeah, plateaus suck, and everyone's body is different. And so I don't even feel like I'm qualified to give you that advice, but I would just say be more in tune with your body and see what you need. This is from Taryn Cox. Taryn Cox, one of our other listeners, his name is Gigolo. And I'm thinking like maybe... Never mind. This is from Taryn Cox. How has your weight loss impacted your work? Do you find the quality of your work, not editing related, but filming, has improved due to your weight loss and having more stamina and mobility, or just practice and dedication to the craft? What a freaking good question. Also, hashtag pull that ejector seat, hashtag slip and slide cheeks, hashtag goals. Oh man, that's amazing. I think this is my friend Taryn. I think this is Taryn from high school. Taryn, what the H? You watch my YouTube channel? I'm slowly getting nervous. If this is Taryn from Sultana, what up, girl? It's been so long. If it's not Taryn and you're not a girl, then what up, anyway. But yeah, pull that ejector seat and slip and slide cheeks and goals. Those are all secret words. So she is part of the familia. Okay. Part of the familia. Yeah. I think this is Taryn. Anyway, Taryn, what a good freaking question. Absolutely. Weight loss has changed how it's completely changed me as a filmmaker. And that's just something I didn't take into account. How tired I would get standing on set for hours every day, filming commercials or documentaries or whatever. It was horrible. Okay. I was filming this one commercial for this. It wasn't a commercial. It was like a series that I was filming for this car company. It was this mobile game app. Terrible app. What was it? I don't care. It was CSR2 racing. I was doing this whole video series for CSR2 racing. Is a game I hated it. Whatever. I was filming. Okay, it didn't matter. I wasn't designing the game. I was filming the commercial for it. And we were on this track in Pomona. We were on this NASCAR track, and it was hotter than hell. And I'm standing on this black tarmac carrying around this big camera, and I am pouring sweat. And I remember in that moment feeling like my body is not made for this. And like, to me, that's like so sad. Like, I'm so passionate about filmmaking. I'm so passionate about like getting the shot and trying new things and moving around and being energetic and like, just being allowed to be on set is such an honor. And being allowed to be in that position is such an honor for me, especially thinking of where I came from, like college dropout, taught myself all this filmmaking stuff through YouTube, like grinded it out. And now here I am on this set, and now I like want to sit down and go home because of my weight. That's sad, dude. That is sad. And that is absolutely how I felt. And so now, I'll be filming with Living Fit and, filming, we were just filming a couple weeks ago in this warehouse, and we had a whole day, and I'm moving around and running around. And I was thinking about that actually, like while we were filming, like if I was still 400 pounds, there was no way I could do this day in filming because I was tired at the end of the day. I can't even imagine how I felt if I hadn't lost the weight. And so like, it feels so good to have the energy at the end of the day, to be able to actually be up on my feet all day and moving around. And I would just change it. Like at my heaviest, I would just like, I'm not going to film these angles. And maybe that was a subconscious decision, but like, I would just be like, I'm not going to film from down here. Cause like, what, I'm going to have to get on the ground and like bend over and all that. And now I don't even think like that. Now I just think like, oh, this would be a good angle. And I do it. And, that's amazing. That is amazing to me. And it gets me excited to think about that actually. Like I haven't put a lot of thought into that. I'm going to write that down on my list of things that I'm proud of from this year. Is that just, that I'm proud that I'm able to be better at my craft because of my weight loss. Taryn, what a freaking great question. Thank you. And if you are Taryn from high school, hi. I miss you. Cordell Valdez is one of the guys who is doing the half marathon. He said, I pulled that ejector seat and signed up for a half marathon in May. Let's go. Cordell, my man. He is coming down to Orange County. He's going to go to Disneyland, and then he's going to run the race with me. Let's go, man. I am stoked. If we could work it out, I'll even go to Disneyland with you. Let's do it. I just invited myself. He's coming down with his wife. I just invited myself to his day with Disneyland with his wife, Cordell, I cannot wait to go to Disneyland. Hey, so I've left two long... This is from Cuzzo Mike. And I thought this was just funny. There's no question here. But I just think it's funny. Cuzzo Mike. Hey, so I've left two long messages on two videos, LOL. So I'm just saying, #ejector seat, LOL. Love your old videos that I've just discovered about 3 weeks ago, and I'm just starting this tortoise lifestyle. Thanks for the encouragement. My man, being a tortoise was another secret message. See, if you guys aren't following and listening to the end, you're just missing out on so much. There's so much subtext to all these videos. You know what I mean? Like, we're really like Christopher Nolaning this here. Okay, if you don't get that, whatever. Cuzzo Mike, thank you. That's amazing that you found my channel 3 weeks ago and you're putting that. You're already in the Familia. 3 weeks. That's how it goes, by the way. There's no time limit on this. Cuzzo Mike found me 3 weeks ago. He's shouting out the secret words. Boom. In the Familia. Thank you. I need to make Familia t-shirts. That'd be dope. This question's from Ashley Lynn Hangst. Are you forming a team for the OC Half Marathon? So this kind of goes back to what I was talking about, Ashley. I am not forming an actual team, but if you want to meet up, if you want to run a half marathon on your own in your own city, let's do it. Let's coordinate plans. Let's, whatever we can do. Hit me up on Instagram, but I'm not going to actually form like a true team for the half marathon at the OC Marathon. But like you said, I'll be there. So if you want to come down to Orange County, let's do it. All right, and this last question, and this is not a question. I just thought of a funny story. This is from Chris Fontana. My goal is to bench press 300 pounds. Chris, that is a great goal, and I hope you hit it. But let me tell you what I did the other day, what you just reminded me of, and I forgot to even bring it up on the podcast. But this was like a couple weeks ago. I was bench pressing, and I I threw 215 on the bar, and I thought, I got this. This is what I could do this in high school. In high school, I was 400 pounds. So I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I get under this 215-pound bar. I push up, and I can already tell, hey, this is too heavy, but let's just get one. I come down, and I'm like, that's not coming up. And I'm looking around, and I'm like, and there's nobody around. Okay, I'm in 24-hour fitness. This is early in the morning. There is nobody there, and I am like, oh no, I'm going to be a meme right now. This is a meme, and I could not get this bar up. Thankfully, I forced it up onto those like safety bars, and I had to like squeak my head out. But dude, I was like, I had a moment of sheer panic when I could tell that bar wasn't moving up. It was sheer panic. And then when I couldn't see anyone around, I nearly pooped myself right there on that bench. And anyway, that's the story that I decided to end this on. So, yeah, that is not going to be the secret word. Do not, by any means, talk about poop in the comments of this video, please. I feel like YouTube at some point is going to be like, what is going on? We are flagging this guy. No, I really want to get this back to a serious note. Like the negative self-talk, that I was talking about earlier on in this episode, we just need to stop it. We just need to be able to contain it. And so if you got anything from this podcast, if you made it all the way to the end, let me know by saying, I'm done with the negative self-talk. I'm done with it. I am done with the negative self-talk. Now, it doesn't mean I'm never going to do it again. But as soon as I realize I'm doing it, I'm checking myself and I'm done with it. Okay? And I mean that. It really was affecting me for days. Just a few days ago. And just simplest things will pull you out of it. And so if you just actively are saying that you're done with the negative self-talk, hopefully it will help pull you out of it quicker. Like I said, I don't know if next week's episode is going to happen. Who knows? I'm having a kid. Who knows what's going to happen? So hopefully I'll see you next week. I will obviously try to make a podcast happen. But like I said, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I love doing these. If you have any questions for the podcast next week, put them in the comments below. That's the only way to get your question answered on this podcast. And I flippin' appreciate you. Peace.